Good morning, everybody. It's Bruce Rivers, and this is The Morning Show, Los Banos Today. Don't forget that beautiful website, losbanostoday.com. Go check it out. You know, and what we did was today, yes, it is not Monday, it's Tuesday. Normally we're here, but we're doing some innovative new things. We'll keep looking at the website, and you'll see all that's going on. But I'm here today thanks to the Boys and Girls Club, thanks to Joe Gutierrez, our sponsors. This is still The Morning Show, where we get your news in your town. And we're here today with two of my favorite people. I know one of them is totally my favorite. I'm still getting to know this other one here, but she's cool too. But our mayor, Mr. Mike Villalta, the mayor of Los Banos, California, over there in the green shirt, and Miss Stacy Souza Elms here. And tell us your title, Stacy, one more time.
Community and Economic Development Director.
Yeah, I told her she had to say that because I knew I would mess it up. But we're getting ready to talk about something here. This is why we do Your News, Your Town, to give you things that we believe are happening that will benefit our community and make our community better. And the subject is van pool, ride sharing, or DIBS, D-I-B-S. I'm going to basically throw it to them and let them tell us all that's going on in the area. And Mr. Mike, introduce yourself, let them know who you are. Go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I'm Mike Villalta. I'm the mayor of Los Banos. And we put together an event on March 16th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at our community center. That's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on March 16th. And it's called kind of a get to know you for rideshare. And we have an acronym called DIBS. And it helps people locate other people who are traveling to different parts of California that work out of Los Banos, for them to get together and share rides and maybe save a little money and save a little bit on the environment too. Mm-hmm. Also, what we're trying to showcase is California Van Pool. And where California has specific vans available, and these vans are low emission vans. They are vans that are they're hybrid, electric and gas. And they're available for residents to drive. And they can pick up people in Los Banos who have a common drop-off point or a common pickup point. And again, help save the environment and get less people, have some people off the road. Because we know that travel for you is absolutely just it's enormous. And the number of miles that are logged by individuals from Los Banos each day is tremendous. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes.
Yeah, well, we're going to come back to you. Stacy, tell us who you are and like I say, what you do and how you're getting in all this here. We thank you for your service. Let me say that up front.
Thank you, no problem. So I'm the Community and Economic Development Director. That is in charge of planning and economic development for the community. So planning, really the vision and the foundation, the guiding block of any development, future progress of the city. That's within my side of City Hall. Economic development, it's business retention and business attraction. And there's a whole slew of stuff that we're doing actively to encourage business to locate in our community and to attract business to our community, but also with supporting tools and services to help support and retain businesses in our community.
And create better paying jobs in our community so that we don't have to all leave and go over here. How many people commute out of our town every day? How many residents?
4,822 was almost the exact number of the individuals that leave our community every day.
Every day.
And I forgot to mention there's a third part of this component of this this ride share and van pool area, and we're working on a way to have people have bus service through Los Banos, non-pollutant bus service through Los Banos and take them to the Bay Area or wherever they're going to go. So part of our way of finding out how many commuters there actually are and where they're going is I'm going to have Stacy talk a little bit about that. About the survey that they're going to do?
Sure, yes, so MCAG is conducting a survey. It should be coming out fairly soon. It will be asking residents where they work. that's an unknown component right now. We have lots of census data and the American Community Survey, which is also through the census. It does not, though, identify where folks are being employed. We know they're commuting. We know that they're leaving the county. They live in Los Banos, they're leaving, whether they're going to Stanislaus County or Santa Clara County, San Benito. We just don't know where they work.
Wow.
That's a missing component, and that's an unknown factor. We want to know what industries that they're working in so that we can let those industries know, particularly in the Bay Area, that we do have the skilled workforce here. They live here, they're commuting to the Bay Area, and it would just increase their quality of life for their employees to locate here.
Let me make sure we understand. Who is MCAG?
Merced County Association of Governments.
Okay.
That means it's a conglomeration of all the governments of all the cities in Los Banos, Antwater, Livingston, Gustine, Dos Palos, Merced, Los Banos, and the county.
Okay.
So it's basically 7 members.
So Merced County. Okay. So yeah, we love our acronyms, and we need to know what they are in this age.
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
Bruce. We're not trying to send more people out of town. We're trying to bring people back to town. And part of what Stacy's talking about is to find out all this information. And once we know all this, then we can approach those employers and say, hey, our skilled workforce is here. You already employ them. Says, why aren't you locating next to where they live instead of sending them all these the carbon pollution that we're creating? Now, 4,822 people that leave. Now, I can't tell you if that's 4,822 cars, but then you multiply that times a round trip of about 200 miles a day and another 4 hours out of their day. Believe me, the individuals don't want to leave our community. They have to because they have to earn a living.
Right.
But they'd sure like to stay here and work.
Everybody, we got young people that are going to school, get out of school, go to college, come home, can't find nothing. So they have to leave.
Yeah.
We know that happens. And so, like you said, now how many cars go through LB every day based on not the commuters, but just people? What's our traffic look like?
About 40,000 cars a day pass through Los Banos on Highway 152.
And you can see that about 3, 4, 5 o'clock. The little Pioneer thing, bypass and all that's still up, and they're still working on that?
So, the Pioneer Bypass is something that's agreed to by the whole council. And we're very proud of that because it's a unified council. We know that we need a side road access to 152 for the locals, and Pioneer is the natural break. And it doesn't take us so far out of town that it's going to take all our commercial away and put it in the county where we lose a tax base.
Housing element.
So the housing element is a component of the city's general plan, and the city's general plan is our constitution for development. It really is the picture and the building block for where we want to go. It's our vision of where we want our city to be, and it's a projection that looks out in the future. We're currently in a general plan update right now, and it's updating out to 2040. So we're always planning for the future, and so that's our general plan. And everything that we do within the city, anytime that the city council or the planning commission make a decision, they have to make those decisions based on the city's general plan. They have to make findings that that project is consistent with our general plan. So it's the basis, it's the foundation of everything that we do. So the housing element is a component of that. There's several elements. There's 7 elements within, and the housing is just one component, and it's the only component that is regulated by the state of California, the Department of Housing and Community Development. And we are required in cycles to update this housing element. The general plan, technically you want to do that about every 10 years or so as cycles are changing. You want to be current with the economy and your vision for your future, for your community, but the housing element is technically on its own track.
Okay.
And it's very important to the state, so much so that all of the state funding essentially is being tied to our housing element and compliance with our housing element. The state of California has determined, as they have reviewed every community's housing elements, that particularly for Las Banas, that we need to have a different variety of housing stock. So we have an unaccommodated need for multifamily units. So we are planning for that. Within the housing element, we have regional housing needs that we have to meet in order to be in compliance. And the penalty, I guess, is the word, or the non-compliance of the housing element means that we wouldn't get our funding from the state of California. And just an example of what we get from the state of California, gas tax, for instance, funds our entire streets department. We would not have a streets department. We would not be able to maintain our roads, those potholes. We wouldn't be able to do the preventative maintenance that we do annually with fog sealing. So that would be completely gone, which would be crucial. That would be huge for the community to lose. So it's very important that we're in compliance with our housing element, but what that means is that we have to provide for all levels of housing, all levels of income. And what that means, though, is also that we need to rezone properties that are R1 to R3. The state of California has said, hey, City of Las Banas, you have too much R1, which is low-density, single-family residential. We want to see a certain amount of acreage converted to be able to accommodate for higher multifamily.
So multifamily and apartments and multi-dwelling units, okay.
Yes, could be duplexes, condos, townhouses, fourplexes, and I guess apartment complexes.
Okay. So now, give me a number. What's our population number right now?
It's about 41,000.
41,000. People ask me that all. Man, you know what's going on. I don't know what unless people tell me. So there it is, about 41,000 people
I looked
here
on
in
the
the
board,
LB.
it was
Yes.
40,993, something
Okay.
around
We were
there.
7 people
Yeah,
shy
7 people
of
shy
41,000.
Yeah.
So
How
I'm
often
sure
do they
we've had
change
7
that sign?
babies.
How often do they change that sign?
Annually.
Annually, okay,
Yes,
so-
and we get that number from the state of California Department of Finance.
Okay. So that's the housing element. Listen, now, if you want to know about a lot of this stuff, this is when I suggest people show up at the council meetings.
Yeah.
Talk about the quality of life. Talk about that.
Well, what I can tell you is we talked about quality of life, and I'm going to, Stacy can talk about the job component of it.
Okay.
But part of what I want to mention is, and I forgot to tell you this, the government reimbursement right now is what, about 53 cents a mile for,
55 cents
yeah,
a mile.
55 cents a mile. In order to run your car, the government figures it costs you 55 cents a mile. So if you're making, 200 miles a day, you're spending $110 a day, according to the government, with gas, oil, tires, insurance, wear and tear on your car. So it's costing you about $110. Just think if these individuals worked here. And that's why this survey is so important for us to find out where these people work and then to convince these employers to come here instead of having people on the road all day. Okay. Then part of the quality of life is, and that's part of your quality of life, but one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that just because we're going to have R3 component or multifamily housing doesn't mean that we have to have substandard multifamily housing.
Right.
So we talked about with this last apartment complex to have cameras and full-time security, 24-hour security. So we all know that we can't have a cop on every corner. So we're going to need to spread out our resources, and people are going to have to step up to make sure that it's a nice place and a nice facility that people live in. Then people will want to live there, and they won't feel the way they do about multifamily housing as it is. So that's part of what we're doing now.
And that'll be
Whole
the
new
proper,
game.
that'll be the property owner's responsibility
Right.
Property
to
owner's
stall and
responsibility.
monitor.
Yes.
Okay,
So
okay.
for us to ensure that the property management is doing their job.
Right. So I'm grateful for both of you coming in today. Did we cover everything?
We
that
did.
You wanted to cover?
I just want to add, March 16th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the community center. If you are a commuter, come and find out more how to make your commute a little easier from Los Banos.
Yes. Yes, there's going to be tacos. There's
Oh.
going to be cash incentives
Food.
to coming to the event. So it's Vanapalooza. If you need more information, it's on the Community and Economic Development's Facebook page. We
Okay.
have a posters in English and in Spanish. So please come. It's going to be a great event. And for commuters, you're going to get a lot of information.